everyone. So today our target is to make this particular application. This is the length converter with the two groups of radio buttons. Compared to the first application, what we already tried, this one is a little bit more complex and perform a few necessary functionality what we did not discuss in our previous application. So how does it work? So technically this is pretty much similar to what we already tried for a temperature converter. Here we can convert meters, yards or miles into the meters, yards or miles. So how does it work? First I will need to choose from what is my input measure. Let's say meters. Important part here, see these meters here in the group 2 became disabled. So here I cannot choose meters. It is useless to translate our length from meters to meters. So now my choice is either yard or miles. So, and this is the main component what we need to code today and understand how does it work. Okay, the rest will be pretty much similar to the temperature converter. So insert 100 here, convert, and we can see 100 meters, this is like 0.06 miles. Click clear, let's say yard meters, 100 yards is the 91 meters. Okay, so button clear. Let's make this particular application. So the first I will make a new application. Let's start from the beginning. Java project. Let's call it length converter. So we are making video. Let's say video. Next. Okay, so this is our length converter video. So I can close the projects. Okay, so new package. Okay, we can keep the same name. Okay, and inside of the package, similar to what we did before, so I'm supposed to create a Windows desktop application. So right click here, new, other. Okay, and make sure that in the Windows Builder, in the swing design, you do have a application Windows. So the video about how to insert that particular part has been done before for our first desktop application. Yes, okay, and here. My length converter. Okay, so in here we can see our application. This is empty now. So, and the important part here is the design. So finally we can process our design functionality here. So the first what I will need to do is set up layout. So the layout should be absolute. Okay, so now one by one I can insert Okay, so our target is to make this application. So for the reference, I will keep this application here, just in order to see what exact widgets we need to add here to make our application properly. Okay, so this is our my length converter. So the application what we just built. So in here is our design. So we already set absolute layout. Okay, now let's add our widgets. So here the first should be my text field where will I display my text. Okay, and here I will call it my text. Okay, after that there are two labels. So for that labels we don't need a proper name, so but I should change the text inside. So here should be from. Okay, let's add another one. So here that will be two. Okay, and now we need to make 6 radio buttons. Okay, so this is our first radio button, and the title will be RB from meters. Text meters. Okay. So this one will be from yards. Yards. Okay, so we can just simply copy paste. Control C, Control V. So that will give us the same. So and here instead of yards, miles. That will be faster. Miles. Okay, done. Check. So from meters, from yards, from miles. Okay, now I need to make a group 2. So let's highlight them. Control C, Control V. Place it here. So definitely now those radio buttons will be different again. So we can just highlight them. Okay, place first one, Control, and by holding the Control you can do that. Okay, again, if you need to highlight many, type first Control and others. Control C, Control V, and now you can make those extra radio buttons. So I did. So now I need to change. This is not from. This is group 2, RB 2 meters. So just change to 2. RB 2 meters. So here will be RB 2 yard. RB 2 miles. 2 miles. Okay, so 2 buttons. So this button convert, text, convert, and another button clear, clear. So and we need one extra label to make that particular messages. Let's make it a little bit big, and I will call those label like that extra information here, like an information box as notice. So here we will display some notice from our application. Okay, and the original text is please insert number and make your choice. Okay, so this is our application. Once again, let's check. From meters, from yard, from miles, 2 meters, 2 yards, 2 miles. Okay, now let's launch it. So this is our application. Okay, so design looks pretty much similar. For sure, like now the coding doesn't work, but see here we will have a problem. So as long as our radio buttons they disconnected, the functionality is not going right. So this issue we need to resolve first when we will start coding our application. So the first what we need to do is to make a group similar to what we did before for the temperature converter, and that can resolve our problem. How to make so a button group. So we can do it from here. So just click the first radio button, right click. See here where is the set button group. Up to now there is no any group, and I will make a new standard group. So right here we can see the buttons group. So inside there is the button group 1, and as default there is this meter radio button here because I created for this particular radio button. Let's call this group differently, and like group 2. This is the group 2, so that's why I want to call this particular group as the group 2. So see here now that group name changed to the group 2. So stop, group from. So and inside of this group from, let's add all other radio buttons. So how to do that? See, the next one is the radio button from yard. So and I need to add this radio button here. Again, right click, set button group from. And now we can see the RB from yard belong to the group from. Same I can do for the miles. Set group from miles. Perfect. Okay, so the next what I will need to do is to perform the same for the radio button group 2. Okay, so again, right click, set button group, and now I need a new group because the radio button group 2 is not exist yet. Again, click new standard. So right here we can see a new button group. So and let's call this group 2. Okay, so and now inside where is the RB 2 meters. So and do the same for the yard. Set radio button group 2 and 2 miles. 2. Okay, so now let's check. From meters, yard, miles, group 2 meters, 2 yards, 2 miles. Perfect. Okay, now run and let's see. How it will work. Meter, yards, miles. Perfect. No problem. Meters, yards, miles. Okay, so now those radio buttons start work exclusively in the same manner what we performed before for our temperature converter. Done. Okay, so the next what we need to do is to perform this functionality. If I will click meters, see here that corresponding radio button responsible for the 2 meters must be disabled, because it is useless to translate our length from the meters to meters. And the choice in between yard and miles must be the possible choice for our application. So how to do that? We need to go to the source. So right here you can see there are quite many different things what we already built. So we didn't even touch that particular file, that particular part of our code, because we play only with the design part. But we can see inside of our general Java code, now we do have quite many different files. Okay, so there are a few things what we can also do here from the design. So there are 2 buttons here. So, and again, before we already discussed how to do that. If I want to code the button convert, I can double click. Okay, so double click, and that particular part is coming here. So let's do the same for the button clear. Okay, so for each of that button, let's create the necessary try catch path. So that will be pretty much important for catch. Exception. Yeah, G option in show message. And here error. So if anything will be going wrong in our application, so this exception will catch it and will display the message error there. So if I will, for example, here I can say like error convert. So here I will know that the error came from the button convert. Okay, so the same I will do for my button clear. Here there is the little mistake because E is already argument of the button clear. Okay, so and the same here, error clear. So it is always better to go through the try catch. So that will guarantee us that even if error is coming, so we can see why exactly our code was broken, was not working. Okay, anyway, so now what we need to do is to add necessary code. But again, before going through the convert, we will need to make sure that our application will disable the radio button once we are doing. See, here the idea is pretty much different from what we already discussed. So if I click one of these radio button, we did not perform any coding, isn't it? So we just change our choice. But once I click different radio button, so some sort of coding must be processed in order to disable or enable different radio buttons in the group 2. So means that for our radio buttons from, we're supposed to enable some coding. So what will be possible to do here is the again try to mimic what is happening here with our the button convert. Okay, so This is our button convert. Okay, so and the place where it's supposed to kind of allocate my new listener must be here. Okay, see, if I will place it here, so for sure, like button convert will not be possible to implement because I need to do it for the radio button from meters. Okay, so what I can do here, instead of the button convert, I can place a radio button from meters. Means that every time when I click the button meters, so this code will be processed. Okay, as long as the radio button from meters is created here, so I can do this action listener component next to the place where I create my radio button from meters. So and inside I can place the necessary source code. Okay, so what exactly I need to do? So I must control the radio button from the group 2. So and more important here, the radio button 2 meters must be disabled if I click radio button from meters. Okay, so here RB 2 meters must be disabled. Actually, in Java, we can set, so here enabled. And this is either true or false. I want to disable my radio button, so that's why I will choose false. Okay, at the same time, yards must be true, and RB 2 miles RB. Set enable true. So set enable true. Okay, so false, false, and anytime when I made my choice here, so what I need to do, I want to disable all of those radio buttons in my group 2. So in order to do that, I will process this group 2. Remember, this is the name of our radio button, group, like to or from. So radio button group 2, I supposed to do this clear selection. So this clear selection will remove the choice from my radio buttons. Okay, let's try. So if I will click meters, see, meters now disabled. So and I can choose yard or miles. See, if I will click it again, so the choice will disappear. So that's exactly what I want. So here there is no meters. So now I will have to do the same for radio button from yards and from miles. Let's do that. I will just copy this part. So here from meters, I need yards. Okay, so here must be true because I am now clicking the radio button yards. So if I click yards, corresponding radio button from the group 2 must be disabled. So it means that the yards must be false. Okay, meters and miles will be true. Okay, not convert. Just delete this. Okay, so and there is one more radio button. What I need to code. This is the radio button from miles. true and miles false. Okay, yard miles false. Okay, done. So now let's check how does it work. Okay, so click meters, meters, disable yards, yards, disable miles, miles, disable. And here we can make a choice. Okay, works. Perfect. This part is done. So the next what we need to do is to code our button convert and the button clear. So for the button convert, so we already create necessary try catch component. So and technically we will need to process our coding here. So the first what we will need to do is to create so our the floating numbers like float. Let's call it like initial length and output converted length. Okay, so now uh, so if RB from meters dot is selected, so here I supposed to convert from meters. So inside, so if RB to yards is selected, so here I will have to convert to yards. Else if so RB to miles is selected. So here I supposed to convert to miles. Okay, so and so here if I will have the situation else, so what should do? See if the situation when the meters is selected, but assume that I did not select yard or miles. See here, if I select yards, I will do the calculation. Miles, I will do the calculation. But what if I did not choose? I didn't make a choice. So that will be the else here. So means no choice. So and I need to display it. Notice like dot. Okay, see the problem is that that particular notice is not active here. Why? Because the notice is here. I did not place my notice. So see, in order to use different components, I need to create them first and after that use. So, and here it doesn't work. So it means that this particular notice, which was the last my component, I supposed to delete it from here and place it in front of the button convert. Okay, so now on the notice will appear set text. So and inside this make your choice. let's make your choice. Done. So the next, what will have to happen here? So if, else if RB from yards is selected. Okay, so here the situation will be convert from yards. Okay, and this part I will just make same as here. Okay, just let's keep it for a while. Else, if RB from miles is selected. Okay, so here I supposed to convert from miles. Okay, and else, see, the situation, so if there is no choice, what will happen? No meters, no yards, no miles. So I supposed to like do nothing or display some relevant information. So in my code, this is like make your choice. So here the make your choice if there is no choice in the group 2, but I will need to do the same for the group from as well. So that's why here I will just copy this part, place it here, place like make your choice. Okay, this part is done. So, and the next, what we will need to do is to process our conversion as well. So, like, let's start from the beginning. So this is my radio buttons, like from meters, and I click yards. From meters, I want to convert to yards. From meters, convert to yards. So in order to do the conversion, so the first what I need to do before processing my comparison, I will need to get my initial length, isn't it? So what is my initial length? That initial length I supposed to read from my text. And here I will add float, pairs float. Okay, and inside I supposed to place the string, which is my text dot get text string. Okay, so now I know what is my initial length, and inside I can process my conversion. So initial length, okay, so my converted length, so will be the initial length multiply by some numbers. Let's make it float. So, and inside I supposed to place the conversion coefficient. So in order to convert meters to yards, that number will be 10.9361. Okay, and here, so the text, what I will need to display will be my text. And set a text. Float to string. So initial length plus, so here I will add text meters equal plus float to string. So here will be converted length plus, and here will be yards. So like initial length of meters will be equal to the converted length of yards. Okay, done. Okay, and make the notice. Notice set text. Done. See, because here if I will process the conversion, meters to yards, 100 convert. So here we will see done. Okay, now let's check whenever it works or not. Okay, let's run. Okay, meters, yards, 100 convert. See, exactly the same as we have here. So it means that for this particular calculation I can process, but actually for this particular converter we will need to again implement all necessary components what we already try for the temperature converter. Remember, there are a few different issues what we need to discuss. So the first one is that if I will click the convert one more time in this situation, what will happen? See, I didn't do anything. I will using the code what we just created. Click convert, and conversion error happened. Why? Because when I click the convert, so here I supposed to translate the text what is given here into the numbers, but here there are characters equal. That is not possible. So this is the problem. So in order to resolve that particular problem, the first what I will need to do is to create the specific Boolean variable which will stop my calculation if I already processed that calculation. So, and for that, in the beginning of my source code, same again as we did before, I need to create the Boolean flag. Let's call it like flag convert. And for this flag convert, that flag convert will tell me, can I do the calculation or not? So, and flag convert will be true as default, because as default I can convert my numbers, my length. Okay, so but in my code here, so we will need to check whenever I can do that conversion or not. Okay, so and the first what I will need to do, I will check. So if Boolean flag convert is true, I have to try. It should be here. And if I want to see everything correctly, Control I, modify the text. See, so if my flag convert true, I will do this. So if the flag convert is false, I will not do that. And how to control it? So at the time when I process my conversion, I can make this flag false. Okay, so and now let's see what will happen. So if again I will make that situation, convert, done. So if I will click convert one more time, now error is not happening. So we resolve that particular problem. So this is the problem number one. So the next what we will need to do is to mimic the situation when there is no text. see, I can make a choice, but I may forget to insert any number. So again, if I will click convert, so here we can see error convert. So why does it happen? Because there is no any number inserted into our application. That moment we already discussed when we try the temperature converter. So, and we need to do the same here in this source code. So how to do this? So after processing my calculation, so the problem is coming again here. So I can convert only if my text has number like this or any other digital numbers. So, and means right here, if I want to do everything correctly, the first what I need to process is to create a string. Let's call it my string, and that my string will be my text get text. Okay, now if my string length not equal 0, so means that I already insert some numbers. This is not empty. Okay, now I can process my calculation. Control I. Okay, see what is happening here. So if in my string the length is not equal 0, means that there is some text inside. So that's why I can process my calculation. Okay, now let's check. Meters, yards, convert. Actually right here, so if is working here, so we can add, as long as I do have conditions, so here I can make a notice. Inside I can write like insert the number. Okay, so the meters, yards, convert, please insert the number. So if I will like insert 100, so now I can process the calculation. So this is exactly what I want. So now there will be no situation when my application crashed if the users who will use that particular application will make some mistakes. So the application will always work. So if there is no text, or like if I convert it once, so now I want to convert it one more time. So I want to process it here. So just in order to complete this part, the next what we need to do, let's talk a little bit about the button clear. So what will happen if I will click the button clear? So it is here. So I click the button clear. So the first what I will need to do is to change my flag convert into the true. Isn't it? So see, because every time when I click button convert, so my flag convert will become false. So means that the next calculation will not be possible until I will change that flag back to the true. So when I click the button clear, so my flag will become true, means that I can process my calculation like again. So the next what I will need to do is to remove our choice, because the next calculation may prompt user like to insert the different choice. Again, in order to do this, so we do have a group from clear selection and group to clear selection. Okay, so there will be no those radio button. After that, we need to enable all radio buttons what I have in my group 2. So here RB2 meters dot set enabled true. One of them is false now. It is not enabled. So and I need to enable it back from yard and from miles. Okay, so now, so these three commands will enable all of my radio buttons. So they all will be enabled now. Okay, and the last one, what I want to do is to come back to the situation what I had in my original reference. Please insert number and make your choice. So I do have it here. I will just place it as the last line. Control X, Control V. Okay, so now let's try. So meters, yards, 100, convert. Done. Convert doesn't work. Clear. Okay. So and I forgot to empty my text. Okay. So my text set text empty. We do it one more time. Meters, yards, 100, convert, clear. Okay. 200 yards, meters, convert, and nothing happened. So why? Because we code only the conversion from meters to yard. Rest is not coded yet. Okay, but that part will be pretty much easy to implement. I will just need to copy paste this particular part and just change the corresponding numbers. For example, if I want to convert meters to miles, so the first what I will need to change is the coefficient. So this is not that number, that should be this number 0.000621371. That will be the way how to convert meters to miles. Okay, meters to miles. The rest is the same. Okay, so the next one is how can I convert like from yards to anything else. For that, I will need to copy this part. See, this part is the convert from meters to where? To yards and to miles. Okay, so in case of the yards, if I want to convert from yards, I cannot convert to yards. I can convert to meters. Meters. Okay, so here will be yards, miles. Okay, and here will be meters. Okay, done. So now I will need to change this particular coefficient. So if I want to convert from yards to meters, the conversion coefficient is this 0.9144. So now I can convert from yards to meters. Okay, done. So if I want to convert from yards to miles, so the coefficient is this. Okay, that's all. So now I can convert from yards to meters using these coefficients and convert from yards to miles using that coefficient. Done. So the next what I will need to do is to process conversion to miles. Okay, I will just copy this part. Like from miles to meters. Here will be miles, like 2 meters, and from miles, so here will be yards. Instead of miles, so here that should be yards. So from miles, I can convert to meters and to yards. Miles, meters, yards. Okay, done. So, and I need to change the coefficients. Okay, so if I want to convert from miles to meters, so the coefficient is this. 1609.3. So if I want to convert from miles so the coefficient must be this 1760. So and I can convert from miles to yard. Okay, and that's all. So we can check. Okay, make sure that the open brackets is always connected with the closed brackets. So you can just click everywhere where the open brackets open. So you must see where it is closed. Okay. So otherwise it will not work. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to just highlight everything and click the Ctrl I, and you will see whenever it works or not. So the each else must have the finished path. So here we can see it is closed, else please insert the number. Okay, don't make that mistake. Okay, so technically we finished with our application. So here, convert, please insert number, 100 meters, yards, convert, clear, yards, meters, convert, miles, 1 miles, yard, yard, convert, 1760. Done. Okay, so this is all for our application. So it became pretty big. Okay, make sure that you can do everything correctly. Don't make any mistakes and just try to do it one by one. Again, the biggest problem here, do not make mistake when you place the necessary source. Yeah, always check how many open brackets and closed brackets you have. So if you will miss up here, the source code will not work. So if something is going wrong, again, just highlight that part and click Ctrl I. So you can see everywhere where the opened and closed brackets are located, and if there is some wrong location, you will not see that particular image. Okay, that's all for this lecture. Good luck.